Hey guys, today is February the 11th of 2014, and I want to go over the Euro USD and just give you my thoughts and my opinions. But know this is an educational video only, and this will be a very educational video only, so please don't miss out on this one. I'm going to show you some stuff that I do, my techniques, and hopefully this will give you a better picture of what's going on with the Euro and how to measure this Euro to know what's going on. So let's start with the Gann geometry, ergonometry, and we can see that today we hit a geometry day, which is the 11th, and then the 13th we have a vibration day from the Gann emblem, which is a pivot low of November 7th, and then on the ergonometry we have the 13th and the 14th. We also have the 14th gets 2 hits on a seasonal date, so this one has more weight than the 11th, but I figure I show you everything, so like that you kind of have an idea. That's how I see it. I try to see the big picture and then try to narrow down what could be the possibilities of this Euro turning, or whatever's going to do. As of right now, the Euro has been going up. You see it from the 3rd, just been trending higher. So, sorry, if this thing goes higher and we come to the 13 or 14, could be a possible change in trend to go lower. And if it goes down, it could be a possible change in trend to go higher. It could be inverse. So either way how it plays out today, Fed Chairman Yellen will be speaking, so who knows what's going to happen today. It could be all head fakes. I mean, if it's going up and we come to the seasonal date and the 13-14 coming up, and it may happen, it may not happen. I'm just giving you possibilities of what could happen. It might probably be the 18th or the 19th, or who knows, it could probably be the 26th right here, vibration day right there. And then all these days could just be nothing. So I'm just letting you know, heads up. This is probabilities. You want to be trading with probabilities, not guessing. If you want to place a bet, you'll probably place, well, if anything, if it's going to possibly turn and you're forecasting into the future, I'm going to kind of pick these dates and kind of see the price action and then determine if it's, if it's worth my risk to get in there and short it, So that's kind of like the mindset I want you to have. Not that it's going to happen, but that's why it says, dates to watch. Not that dates turns are going to happen or dates of pivot turns. It's just dates to watch. Just keep an eye on it. And if you see that things, pick up with volume and things just get momo and starts moving, then, you kind of have a better idea. Well, things are getting wild and crazy and it's, selling. This is the time, this is the season. Price and time caught up, like WD Gann would say. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I drink some coffee here. This is gonna be a long one, so if you don't got time to watch, then just hit the stop button and move on to something else or another of my shorter videos. But if you want to learn something, I recommend you to watch my technique and what I do. So like that, when I'm talking about these things, you could kind of get a better idea and not kind of be in limbo. So this is kind of like a one-on-one catch-up on, how I measure the Euro and how I study it. And this is one of the techniques. This is not all of it. I just do so many things just to kind of pinpoint, It's all mathematics. That's how W.D. Gann said it. It's all mathematics. All mathematics. All right, so you guys know the dates. You guys seen it every day. I'm not changing this thing or customizing it. I don't look at the calendar to see what's going on, what could move. No, this is all geometry. Exactly it says Gann emblem, geometry, and ergonometry. So this is all mathematical statistics, probabilities, and some even esoteric stuff that some other traders don't even consider into their trading. So let's get into this. Let's get into this right here. This is a Fibonacci thing I use, and this is the low, and this is where I start. This is exactly where I start. the low, and let's do a weekly so you can kind of see it. I'm taking the low. The high was on 5/2/11, 49.39. I want to take the extreme low and then work my way up. You see how I'm working my way up here to all this? So I take this low of 724 and then start from there. This is probably not it. Sorry. I gotta go maybe two years back. Okay, here. So what I do is I got this tool called Fibonacci, Fib Grid they call it. I'm sorry, but it's all Fibonacci stuff. And I put it on, where is it? Show studies. I put it here from the low to the high, and it's pretty much just giving me a breakdown of the 38.2 and the 61.8 levels. So you can see that this was, I believe that's a 61.8 and a 38.2. And these white ones are, you know, bigger grids. But this is the high, this is the low, and this is the high. And then from there, it shoots out and expands in a forecast. It went as high as 35.15. That's what they call the snow line. So I normally put that, you know, and it's always from the first impulse wave. So if it's the low and this thing shoots up and then it comes right down, that's my first measured move. That's my first impulse wave. And then that's a grid. And then from there, I build up my case to see where the euro is, where it's heading. How strong is it? Using speed, where it's at. And then you can see that this worked out pretty good. It just told me this was going to be a high up here. You know, it kind of pierced this and it kind of shot up, chopped around here in these two ranges, two grids, came down, popped up, came all the way down here, and then found the base here. But you can see the picture. I don't want to bore you. You just look at it and you can see. And this is where it's at now. It cracked here, that 35.15, and it's now above it. I have different pivot anchors that I've used, and that's just from this low to that impulse. So that's why it's custom to this chart. If I have a level 1 that I use. You probably won't see it, but look how it gives me these anchors from here. Nothing there, nothing there, and this is what the 38.2 and the 61.8. But it gets bigger. You can see that there's a snow line up here, which will let me know that's very important level is the 40.26, and that's how high as it goes. So that's probably a level that I'll probably keep an eye on, 40.26. And then if you go and do a level 2, you can see that this is an anchor where it came in at 33.33, and it gave me the high up there pretty much. Found a base here, chopped around here, found the base here, and this is a 61.8, the 38.2. And you can see that this is where we're at right now, finding a base here, hit that high, which is 38.92, and there was a grid right there of 39, so that picked the high really good. And now where we at right now, so this is something you want to keep an eye on. Look where we at right now. We just hit that high right now, 37, and you can see that this is a grid line. So this is a 38.2, so this is a 61.8 Fibonacci grid line, and this is where we're gonna add. Could the euro get above that? Yeah, it could. Well, could it struggle? It could too. As you can see right here, it went above all the way up, and then it had a little, it just had issues right here, and then it just dropped, and now it's revisiting again. So I just wanted to show you that. So let's go back, and I think there's another one that I have. Let's edit this, and which is the third one. Before I do that, so you can see where the snow line is, that's at 42.33, so it gets higher because, you know, you can see that this is a high pivot anchor point, and this is the start, which is at 1876. If you look at your chart, you can probably see why it's anchored at those. It's probably, I'm picking up some weekly pivots, and that's where it's happening right now. So if we go and hit the level 3, which is my last one, it's from this low of the 24th to the first impulse wave, which is the high on the 917, around there. Or maybe I think I picked the 14 just because I like the 3168. And you can see it's been chopping around, and this is where we at right now. Hit this high here, and it just trending here, and now it's above here. So you see that on the other chart, it was hitting it here as resistance, and now on this one it's above it. So you can see that it fluctuates on levels. So I normally have that there, but I'm showing you where I start. But I'm going to put it where it's custom, because that's where I got it from, that low. And the next thing I do, I'm going to hide this. Next thing is to add a grid. And as you can see, this is the low. We hit the first wave, and that's my first grid, my first kind of small. It's all fractal. When it really comes down to it, it's all fractal. You hit the first wave, and then you go, it pull down. As soon as you get that pullback, that's your first impulse wave, and then you do a grid right there. This is your box. You shoot out waves, and this is the 1 by 1. So I'm going to focus on the 1 by 1. You can see that the 1 by 1 became resistance right here, and the euro just kept going sideways, and then it started dancing in between these angles, which is the 1 by 1, 2 by 1, 3 by 1, 4 by 1. So between the 3 by 1 and the 4 by 1, it started just trending until it cracked here. Once it cracked here, it was just out of the angles of this grid. But I just want you to see how I build a case on where I'm at with the euro. See, when here hit the 1 by 1, so it wasn't really strong because it couldn't even keep the speed just going up. It just kind of fizzled right here and went sideways. Still went up, but not with the speed. And then it kind of went sideways, failed this, and this is where we're at. These right here are measured moves. The purple kind of line. This is from the first breakout of this candle. So if you do that, let me hide everything so you can just kind of see. I might have to just do 2 parts of this video. Maybe this might be like part 1 because I don't want to make it too long, but I kind of just want to build a case on the euro. Let's hide everything, and let's just show the what is it, retracements, yeah. And then let's just, well, I need to hide this one. I don't want you to get all confused. Okay, yeah, so there you go. So I took a measurement from here in a breakout of this candle here, and then I got all these levels shooting up. They're 100, 200, 300, 400%. I haven't done this on the bigger ones. I just done it just on here. You probably see it in the other ones, but you can see, look, how I picked out that top at the 1300% perfectly. How I found support at the 500%. See how it went sideways, sideways, sideways. Hit a top right here at the 1100%. Got close to the 1400%. And that's where we're at right now. It's having issues at the 14. I think that's the max I could go. And that's just from the crack out of that daily bar right after the low. That's like I call it a mini impulse. It's interesting. This is the mini impulse, and this is the first impulse. So this is even smaller fractal from this one. And then it just gets, you know, it grows bigger. And then there's the 8-6 impulse, which is this one. I didn't do an 823, But then from there, I just saw that it just kept going speed. So I did a fractal here, mini one. Got the first impulse, picked up a second, and then got this big one, the 914. And you're gonna see how it all relates. So this is where we're at right now, and you see that just look, you just see how it just that just technique. It just shows you how this euro dances around it. You know, and look where we're at right now. That could be a target. That could be a possible target. You see how it found a pivot there, resistance there, chopped around here. So that could be an interesting target, 37.11. So we'll see. So now if you add everything, show everything. This is the 1 by 1, and this is where we at. Didn't keep the Momo. That's how you know it would have been a strong bull market. But you know, it still went up. It's still trending, but at a slower speed rate. Now let's go to, and mind you, that was my 724 low. Now we go to the A6 high. The A6 high, you see right here. Now what I did is I grabbed the first impulse right here. And then it turned down. So that would be a grid. Actually, no, I didn't grab the, is that the, no, that's the 724. This is the 8.6 high. So this was my first impulse. And mind you, this is a technique I learned from Michael S. Jenkins, a great trader and a great teacher. And this is the grid that I've created. And this is the box where it ends right here from this high. And these are all the angles, and this is the 1 by 1. The important one is the green dashed one. So let's dissect this. As you can see that the 1 by 1, it went above it and then couldn't continue the speed. It cracked the 1 by 1 here, but it found support this at the 2 by 1, and then it just started dancing around there. Couldn't stay above it, and then cracked it with momentum. Cracked the 3 by 1 and found support here at the 200, and then kind of it was in between the 3 and the 4 by 1, and that's where you're at right now with that, you know, impulse wave. You're between the 3 and the 4, but fail the 1 because of the speed and the angle of it. So this is where you're at right now. And then the same thing applies with the measured move. Instead of, you know, getting it from this candle, now I get it from this impulse wave, the first one. It's like the first impulse, which I didn't take from here. I think I grabbed this one right here. I should have grabbed this one to see what it would have looked like with price, you know, see if it would have been respecting it. So from grabbing that measured impulse move, you can see my levels: 200, 300, 400, and let's see how that worked out. The 200 worked out well. You can see the 300 didn't get close. 300 worked out well as resistance. You can see that the 500 worked out well, and that's where we're at, the 500 level, which is at 37.81. So that's that. And then the last one I'm going to show you, because I'm going into 20 minutes and I don't want to bore you with this stuff, is my 914. So you can see that the 1 by 1 is here. And just because we feel the 1 by 1, it doesn't mean that we're in the bear camp. It just finds another way to continue going higher, maybe holding these two angles. So once it fails the 1 by 1, it's not in a bear market. It's still trending. It's still going higher. But you'll see once I get to the 914 high how things change. And this is when I change the colors a little bit, just because like I'm more visual than anything. See, so the first impulse was here. Then we did the 8.6 high, and now we went, this is a better one. Because this is kind of fractal, it's more noise. But then when you get to like that first one shot angle impulse, then you're talking. Now this starts having a little more weight in your analysis. So this is your 25, so you got 1, 2, 3. This is your 1x1, and look how price was moving here. So once you got that, you see that it never cracked the 1x1 here. Continued, was holding it, fizzled out right here, and then came down, found support at the 38.2% Fibonacci level. That's when I was using still the Fibonacci. I switched to percentage moves now, and kind of dwindled here. Found support here again, back. So now is in between the 2 and 3 of the 14 high, and that's where we at right now. See, didn't crack that angle, and you're at the 261.8 Fibonacci within time of it. Will it do something? And my experience, it works, but rarely you see something happen when it hit these things here. Like this happened right here, so this kind of worked out. The 127 was kind of choppy. You probably picked up a low and scalped something. So this is where you're at right now. But look at the 1x1. It's over here, and you're over here. Is it bearish? No. You're trending higher. You're just not on the speed of this grid now. You just gone sideways, but higher. I might just well do it, so I could just at least have one video of just this. Then you move up to. So keep in mind, we did the 8.6, we did the 9.14. Now what we got to do? We got to do the 2.1, February 1st high. You just keep moving higher and higher and painting the picture. And that's what I did. The 2.1 high. So now when you hear these terms, the 2.1 high grid, because these are all grids. Let me take this off. Okay, so you see, still with the low. I'm still working with that 724 low. That's my anchor. And this is where I'm saying the big picture. Now look at this angle. Look at the 1x1. And this grid goes all the way to August the 25th. It's a grid. So now we hit the February 1st high, and we've done all this, found support at the 1x1, went higher, took out the high of February the 1st, came down. I want you to see this. Look how fascinating this is. We took out the high of February the 1st, failed. We came back down, did a low on the 7th of November, went up again and failed. Found support at this angle, went up again, and then did some kind of spike, a fat finger, and squeezed every short out there and hit a regression line up there at 38.92, and then failed again. Tried to do it one more time on the 14th and failed again. Found support here and went up and then failed again. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then came down with Momo and found support at this one. I don't know if it's a 1x1 angle, but it's an angle. And then it's trying to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and going for a 6th time to get above 37.10. You're still above the 1x1 angle. See this 1x1 angle? You're still above it, so you're strong. Now, if this thing fails, it starts trending here, here, and I'm just speculating where it could go, and then cracks this, then, that's not good. But doesn't mean it's going to be bearish. It could still do the same thing like it's been doing with the other ones, just kind of going sideways and maybe just pushing higher, further down the road. But as of right now, it's still it's bullish on this grid, and this is where this is the fractal time we're at right now in this grid. But then if you want to get the bigger picture, this is just not enough from this low to this here. You got to go from this low and go backwards in time to find out where you were at on that cycle, because all these have been cycles from here to here to here, and eventually, if this fails going down and then it kind of does this kind of thing over here, then I'm going to have to take my grid, and then it's going to be a new one. It's going to be the 1227 high. And then this 1x1 angle is probably going to be shooting maybe somewhere else, you know, because it's going to spread out and it's going to be a bigger grid. This would be my 25% right here. And then that'll be the 1227 angle. I haven't done it yet because it hasn't cracked this 1x1 angle, so it's still strong. It's fighting. As you can see, we've been in here 6 times and we can't stay above it. You know, we can't even stay above it for like 3 months. You know, we've been at it since October, trying to stay above this angle, this support line, this grid actually. It's not even an angle, it's a grid, it's a box. And we can't. And we've been failing it, popping it, failing it. It's either going to be the bulls are really going to bring it up and shoot this thing higher, or, you know, the bulls are going to give up and be like, you know, the hell with it. We've given it all we got, and we can't stay above this thing, and we can't go higher. Let's just give it to the bears and let's just join them, and then this thing could just, you know, tank. But we'll see. I mean, but it's giving it a fight to go higher, to push higher. So if you want to look at the bigger angle, and this is the biggest I've gone, is the 5411 high. So I'm taking the 2000 May 4th 2011 high, and I want to show you. I'm going to go, you know, 15 years back. So this is the low of the 724, and then this is the high of 5/4/2011, and then this is the biggest grid I got now. But you could go as far as you can to find out where you at with the euro, which one day when I have some time I will do it. I mean, look, the high right now it's 60.37 on 7/16/2008. You could go from there all the way down to the low, which is 6/7/2010, and do a grid, and you can see where the 1x1 is falling, and maybe the 1x1 is probably hitting one of these angles where these big, you know, pivot highs are having an issue, and then you can see where you are with the euro, where it's at, and if it's like above that 1x1 angle coming down, it's probably telling you that, you know, the euro's getting Momo to go higher. But I can't say that for a fact because I haven't done it. But I just wanted to show you. So this is where I'm at right here. The high, the low, and this is the 1x1 angle. Why are we having a tough time? Look. Look at this 1x1 angle. Fail, fail, pierce it, fail, above it, support, support, failed, above it, fail, above it, fail, above it, fail. And what's that, 3710 of that other grid, which is somewhere around here. So you could count it from like 3710. You failed it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or kind of lost track where, because I'm not on that grid. But you can see, and look where we at right now. Back to the 1x1. Could that be a possible short? Well, determining how you look at risk and everything, and look seasonal dates. You got the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. You got a new moon coming around here. If you're into astro trading, you got this 1x1 angle. So you got, you know, possible turn dates somewhere around here. You're at resistance at the 1x1 angle. Could it go above it? Yeah. And somewhere between the 13 and 14, seasonal dates and cycle and urmanometry fail and goes back under the 1x1. I'll let you think about that, but just wanted to show you that. And this is where we're at right now, the 1x1 again. Having a tough time. You want to go into it with a microscope? Let's look at it closer. Look how we've been dancing on this angle. Hitting here, failing it, finding support at the 50. You know, just getting there. See? And I mean, I think this moves a little bit, so we probably already pierced it, and we're just dancing around there. So I hope that helps you understand, my analysis and how I look at the charts, and when I say grid, what grid we in. And this is the 5411 grid. So this is why you see this. And for goofs, and just to see where I'm at, I'm gonna do when I have some time, I am gonna do this that grid from, and it's probably gonna have to be a weekly, because it's just gonna be huge. Um, I'm just gonna do a weekly grid, which will probably just take. I mean, look, I mean, you get it's unlimited. You could go all the way as the low of 822.27, which was 2000, the October 9th 2000 low, and do the high, which that would probably be where I should start, because at least I have this whole range. I have this whole big grid, and I might probably just start there and then do from the high to the recent, or not the recent, the latest low that we have, and then see where I'm at here in this box. But you could understand, and then you can see like these big angles. I mean, these are minor. This is all fractal. This is smaller compared to this. This has more weight. And if you got like data that goes back, I don't know. I know the euro was 1999, 2000, or whatever. But if you could consolidate stuff that goes all the way back, like WD Gann did, you could see the big picture. But anyway, this video has been long, and hopefully you learned something. And if you didn't, you at least know where the euro's at, and you could have an idea, what you should do in regards to your trading, and what's will help you or not. Peace, make some pips. I'm gonna go and have some breakfast, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts. This is an educational video, and watch it again. Watch as many times so you can kind of have an understanding of what how I look at the markets, and especially the euro, and how I measure it. Peace.